Pas de soleil, pas de soleil, pas de soleil, pas de soleil.
Yeah, we didn't want to miss the beer.
You're fine. You're absolutely fine.
I know, it's exactly that color, that color. Yeah, that color. Yeah, you know, like when you like in here, you don't really see the color, but you know, like yeah, like it,
When they did a crowd, they was like, the best day on Megan and all that.
wow, yeah, last night.
I figured it was the last night, it was like a special thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I get ran ragged that day. I remember 2020, I was out.
I remember 20.
What's wrong?
There you go. Hello, good afternoon. Well, good afternoon. I'm Della Watkins, Executive Director here at the museum, and I just want to tell you, last night I talked at an event so much that I woke up hoarse, but I never miss an event. So I'm here with you guys today and excited to welcome you. We're thrilled you could join us to celebrate the opening of Sergio Hudson, focused on the fit. At the CMA, our mission is to spark powerful conversations with art from around the world and around the corner. We couldn't be more proud today than to celebrate an artist from around the corner who is now working in the world stage, Sergio Hudson. To the stage, our mayor, Daniel Reckerman.
At Woodhill Mall, his collection just disappeared off the shelves in minutes. But was so excited. But we wanted to celebrate you, Sergio, not only for your talents, but that you're constantly giving back to your community and you're touching people's lives and you're being a mentor. And for somebody to see a founder, it gives them hope that they have an opportunity to do exactly what you did, because it wasn't easy. You started off, you know, hoping somebody bought a dress, and today now you're pushing people away because you're too busy, which is a beautiful thing. But on behalf of City Council and the entire city of Columbia, I wanted to present you with the key to the city, but also proclaim today Sergio Hudson Day.
But it's well deserved, and thank you for giving back. And I know people are going to be excited to be able to see Focused on the Fit and be part of this and listen to you today. Thank you.
Have you come back on stage with us? There you go, Megan.
To sculpt and transform, using fabric as a medium with traditional and innovative means expressed with our own style and aesthetics that bridges the space between life and art. I think we all can really relate to that. While the title of the show, Focused on the Fit, is a double entendre, it also signifies the placement of Sergio Hudson's collections within a museum collection. Expressive storytelling here in the museum, and in this exhibition, these objects get to stand still for just a moment, so we can take the time to understand them and appreciate them through Sergio Hudson's vision and the collective efforts and shared visions of Charles, Inga, and the extended Sergio Hudson team.
I can't thank the entire CMA team enough for allowing me to highlight the work of my friend,
and style maven Sergio Hudson. Sergio and I met back in 2010, very early on in our careers right here in Columbia. I was a title holder, booked on an appearance to bring awareness to a local business, and he was a budding fashion designer, taking any opportunity to send his designs down the runway. Nearly a decade and a half later, I still use my influence to promote businesses as a content creator, and he has become one of our generation's most iconic designers. I've watched eagerly from the sidelines for years, cheering on his success, amazed at how much he continues to accomplish in an industry that's infamously hard to break into. But what he's proven time and time again is that he is a master of his craft. He uses his Rolodex of style references from his upbringing right here to make women feel strong, sophisticated, and sexy. In this exhibit, we focus on the fit. We explore just how someone from the Midlands becomes an expert in women's tailoring and one of the trendsetters on the global fashion stage. Conversations, DMs, texts. I still have no idea how he continues to solve the next great American design house. Not only were you born and raised right around the corner here in Ridgeway, your brand actually got its start in Columbia. How did establishing your roots here impact your passion and ultimately your career?
Well, test, check, 1, 2. Test, okay. Yeah, well, so here's the thing. I went to design school. My entire life I was supposed to go to design school in New York. That was my plan. I'm a very planned out person. Like, this is what I'm gonna do, this is how I'm gonna do. When I was 5 years old, I said, this is what I'm gonna do. When I was about 8 years old, I saw this movie called Betsy's Wedding, and she went to FIT, so I said, I'm going to FIT. And that was my storyline up until like 12th grade in high school. Then I decided to go to design school in Atlanta. And when I got out of school in Atlanta, I had offers to go to New York for internships and possible jobs. But I decided to come home and try it from here first, just to see what I could do. That began a journey of, discovery and, I'm thinking, even my first thing out there was I called my collection Sergio Hudson Southeast because I felt like I could bring something from here to the world that could be seen on the main stage. Have these lofty dreams of doing things and bringing things to you that you probably don't have the power or the will to make it happen at the time, but when you're young, you think you can do anything. You're at this age, tell yourself at that age, it's not gonna be easy because it's a lot of struggle because of, I always talk about being 5, 6, 7, 8 years old and even going up through high school. Anybody that went to high school with me knew this is what I always wanted to do and this is what I always talked about until I actually started doing it. I didn't realize just how hard it was. And that might have been a blessing because, sometimes when you know how hard something is gonna be, like even when you think about friendships or marriages or whatever, sometimes if you knew how hard it's gonna be, you might just not do it. So, wayward partner or spouse that you're in love with and you can't let go. It's one of those things that is in you and you can't get rid of it. So, I think that's what sustained me and kept me going. But I think my love for home and my love for how I was brought up kind of drew me back here and kept me here for as long as it did. And it's definitely influenced the way I design, the way I style the girls for the show, the sensibility of how I make clothes. It's all because of here, I think.
Wow. What's the collections that you're working on today?
I mean, all of them influence everybody. When they see my mom, they see the collection. I mean, at the end of the day, it's pretty much my mom at different eras in her life, I feel like. I always do a little strapless mini dress because I remember when, like in the late 80s, when she would go to like my dad's Christmas parties, she would always make like these bustier dresses with like peplums, and you know, just be dressed really, really nice. I didn't realize at the time that everybody's mom in South Carolina didn't do that.
She was special.
I don't know, Tanya, did you think everybody's mom did what all? Like, my mom would literally be like in a strapless bustier dress, and the rest of the women would be like in suits or like floppy clothes, and like she would have a full face of makeup on. And I'm just like, I thought it was normal like that. Every woman wore 5-inch. I had like this bow, and it was a net on the back of their hair. My mom, when she used to go to a formal event, she had this little bow with a net that she always wore her hair like pulled back really tight. And it was this bow and a net that she wrapped her hair in. And I made my hairstylist recreate that. I couldn't describe it to them because I couldn't find a picture, so I drew it.
And we all know exactly what he's talking about, right? We all know that hairnet.
Yeah, our hometown church in Ridgeway, you know, where my dad grew up and my dad's family came from. And she would just overdress for that every Sunday, and she would be late every Sunday. And you know, that's when you're not really saying you're going to church because, you know, it's the South. You go to church because you go to church. So she would always send us off. My dad would take us to Sunday school, and then she would show up to church as they were doing devotion. And then, you know, then she decided to get saved for real. And so she changed churches, and she went to this church called St. Luke Baptist in Winsboro, which is like a legendary church in our county. And that's where I really grew up in church. And this was like the biggest church in the county, and you know, everybody went there. You know, if you was somebody, you went to St. Luke, and we thought we were like the business, like, and we had the best pastor, you know, we had the best ministerial staff. It was very innovative because he had all women ministers, and we were a Baptist church, and it just wasn't heard of. And of course, my mom was on the stage every day at this church. Every Sunday at church, she was on stage. So we would be 2-3 weeks before a certain Sunday, like planning our outfits for. I was all over. They did a lot of things, and that was, you know, it was okay. What time they got this exhibition? We got to come up with the outfit. We got to come up with choreography for the runway. Like this, it was just my life. Even though I was here in South Carolina, my life revolved around fashion and dressing women, and that was who I grew up to be. And it was no other choice. Like, of course, I took all of that training and went into what I'm doing now. So every time I'm doing a fashion show, I look back on those times in my life, and I think about, you know, going to church on the first Sunday, and they wear white stockings. Like, that was the worst thing. And Mom would be like, you just go and stop going to, you know, I just remember her fussing about it all the time. Stockings were her thing. You only wore off-white, off-black, and nude. Like, that's it. Don't wear these other stockings. Like, it was just the funniest thing. So I'm still, like, if you look at my runway, I was with Commando, who sponsors our stockings, because my girl's gonna wear stockings. And I was like, I don't want, those are too black. They need to be off black. Like, I want to see skin.
You know that term, off black?
Yeah.
I don't know that term.
There's black and there's off black, and they have to be off black. You have to see skin through them. If they're too black, then they look like tiles.
And a dress that's featured in the exhibit.
So, well, we're fast forwarding years, but we moved to LA. We're in this little space. I mean, it's hard to describe. It was probably as big as this stage. We had a huge cutting table in there that probably took up half of the stage. It was enough room at 2 stores, and you know, we would have to cover the fabric because at night mice would come in and they would leave whatever they left all over the fabric and talking like silk and all this. I mean, it was an episode, and then it would rain rarely, but it does rain in LA.
Yes.
I don't feel bad about it. I wear it as like a badge of honor because, you know, we were able to work from there. Like, I made the pattern for Kamala Harris's dress from that place. I made Michelle Obama's look from that place. So, you know, it is a part of the journey. And when one day, it was tough. I mean, tough. And anybody that knows me, they know I am push myself to be positive. Even though it's not my nature, I learned to be a positive person. But that day, it was just really hard for me. And I was leaving the workroom to go home. And, you know, might have had $20 to my name. You know, the business had whatever it had. It was just a really low time and tough time. And I looked across the street and I saw that actual, like that's pulling out of there. You could see that he was working on it all week. And then he had finally finished and he was packing up to leave. And I looked at it and I just began to cry because I really needed something. I knew I couldn't stop, but I needed something. And that picture just really motivated me to keep going. And I said at that moment, if I ever get an opportunity to do something with his art, I would. So fast forward to maybe, I think the season before this last one, I was going through the references, and the references were like really bright, and you know, like want to do neon colors, something happy. And he popped in my head. I was like, I want to reach out to him. So Inga was like, just DM him. And so I DM'd him, and he replied. And long story short, he created this print for us that we used for the show, and he actually came and painted this mock of this mural on the runway for us. So in the universe, whatever, that they will let you know it's gonna be okay. And this was that moment for me personally. You know, the knowledge of this in my head. Sometimes you get epiphanies about your life. I think, you know, being that little 5-year-old little boy and my mom allowing me to pick out her shoes or to tell her, do your hair like this, wear that dress, you know, don't wear this. And she listened to me. It instilled a confidence in my talent that is unwavering. Like, I don't, you know, like sometimes I'm at home with my husband and he's a very fashionable person in his own right, but he always asks me, what do you think about this? And I just have this very concise and decisive brain and very direct way about style. Like, these shoes don't work with this because of this. And he'll want to wear those shoes so bad. And it crushes him that I'm telling him not to wear those shoes. But it's this confidence that I have in it that most of the time he's like, okay, I'm gonna do it. You know, sometimes he'll even call friends to see if they agree with him until he finds one that agrees with him. And I'm like, well, you know, it's not, you ever got dressed and you got 2 shoes that will work? They both will work, but one is better. And I can immediately see which one is better. I don't know what it is that would do that. Like, I don't even make shirts. Normally, I make body blouses because I don't like shirts outside of stuff. Like, it's just not my thing. Like, it's not my thing. Like, it doesn't define your body. It doesn't look good. It's boring. Like, why not see your bottoms or pants and put a belt over it? And I'm like, why do you know that? Like, why do you know that I wouldn't do that? So, you know, it's like those type, and I think sometimes in work and business, people take it offensively, but I'm just very like direct, like,
this jumpsuit, and he responded, baby, your torso's not long enough for a jumpsuit.
Being real honest, you probably hate that I'm telling y'all all this, but you know, and I just want to be real. You know, she was selling purses and jewelry and whatever she could to make sure we had money to put out a collection. And you know, I was eating Spam, and you know, but only that I'm not mad about because I do eat it, love it. You know, but when you have to eat it, because that's all you can afford, it's different than when you say, I want a spam sandwich. And I don't regret that, because if you want to do what I'm doing, you have to be. But I included other people in my life, and I didn't put those people first. I put my career first. And when I got to the place where I was here, I remember calling my mom and like, this doesn't feel like I thought it would feel. And I don't know what to do, because I'm crushed, I'm devastated. And that's when I decided that I have to find something outside of this to live for. And I have children, and I have a wonderful husband now, and I dedicate my day when I get up to those people, because if I put them first before this, then I can be sane to deal with this. You get what I'm saying? I have an amazing life. I'm able to do the things that I want to do in life. I'm able to, eat what I want to eat and pay my bills. I'm not a rich man by any means, but I'm happy in my personal life at this point. And I think I don't have to put on masks and facades for anyone or anybody that's, in my life or that has known me before. I wore masks my entire life. And I was someone that I really thought who I was that person. Like, I had convinced myself at a very young age, at 7 years old, I think about that this is who you are, this is who you want to be, and this is where you're going. And I think when you get what you're looking for, sometimes it's not what you think it's going to be. And I'm so thankful to Devon for coming in my life when he did, because I don't think it was like right before everything kind of shifted and changed. I don't think personally I would have made it mentally through all the upheavals of this industry without that, being able to come home and like not think about it. Because when you have a partner, when you get home, you are a partner. When Chance is sending me her list for her birthday, she don't care who you dressing. Like yesterday when we were trying to get here, all the shoes that I bought her before we left home were like, they fit at the store, and then and she tried to put them on and her feet were swollen. She couldn't fit any of the shoes. And I'm like, Chance, these are $1,300 shoes. Like, what are you doing? Like, I'm sitting in the house like, oh my God, like this is crazy. Like, I'm freaking out, and I'm just like, kids are kidding. Like, you know what I mean? So those moments are so special to me, and they keep me, where I'm going. I think with my, I don't want to get emotional, but last year my mom called me and told me something happened to my brother, and it was a real moment for me. Because me and my brother, we not the same, we don't like the same stuff. We always argued and fought growing up, but my family was very close knit. Because of, without telling my mom's whole story, she, was the black sheep of the family, and, she never really had that closeness like that. So she made sure that me, my sister, and my brother were very close. It was always my mom, my dad, my sister, and my brother. Like, that's, so when you grow up like that, it speaks to my mortality. And before that, I had a health scare, and it was just like, more to life than this. That's so beautiful and so great. You have to cherish the people that you have in your life, the people, the family, that you have in your life. I mean, I'm telling everybody business, but same thing last year, we were in New York, I believe. I know we were in New York because me and Inga were together, and she had been going through with her mom,
Sergio Hudson Collections and creative director.
Sergio and I met in college in Atlanta, Barber College. It wasn't an instant attraction, a draw to friendship, to be honest. It's really quite hilarious when I think about how close we are now and how we met. I remember it very clearly us being in class, and I think it was trend forecasting was the first class that we had together. And so this class, they're telling you how to predict trends and, how do you lead fashion and what's the direction you go in. And this guy is up here directing the class. And I'm like, okay, he knows a little something. But then he just kept going and going and going. I was like, how does this one person know everything safely? To the point where it was like he was instructing the class. So I'm like, this guy's kind of like a know-it-all. Like, it just didn't seem like it fit well. Like, it kind of rubbed people the wrong way. And I know that after we became friends, he shared with me that like he just kind of ignored me as well because I can't.
And I was introduced to Sergio by someone. So I call her my cousin, and you guys know how this is, right? We grew up with somebody, and when they're your cousin, your auntie, or whatever. So, but she really is my childhood friend, and she was one of the original housewives of Atlanta. Sergio used to make clothing for her, and she had come to Los Angeles to visit with me, and Sergio was styling her as well, because that's what he does, is he tells everybody what they're going to wear. And everybody does look to him for that. So I remember very vividly, we were in Neiman Marcus, she was on the phone with him, we were going to shop for shoes for her, and she was on the phone with him, and I'm like, who are you talking to? She's like, oh, this is Sergio. And we went back and forth, and so finally he tells her, who's that with you? She says who it is, and then he tells her, hand her the phone. And so I get on the phone, he's like, hi, we do a little bit of pleasantries, and then he goes, I need you to make sure she doesn't go rogue. She goes rogue, and I'm like, okay. Later on, he came to Los Angeles, we had exchanged numbers, we got together, we had some conversations. Sergio and Charles ended up, my daughter, who's a character herself, insisted that Sergio, yes, his baby, insisted that Sergio make her 8th grade graduation dress because she could not look like anyone else at school. And I was like, okay. So I'll ask Sergio. So I was like, Sergio, can you make Naya her 8th grade graduation dress, please? And he was like, of course. And so, he went about it. He made her this beautiful graduation dress with beautiful fabric. And of course, she was the belle of the 8th grade graduation. And I was like, oh my God, I had already seen all the, in the background, she's the financial engineer for many companies. Seems to be the independent consultant. and she was so excited. We're all excited, and we talked, and I asked them, and I just kind of just said, guys.
I'm Charles Sheik, so I was working with women directly and knowing what they wanted. I was getting instant feedback from my product. I had a vision of, I think this dress is sexy. I think this is nice. This is how it should be cut. And I would just get the feedback from the response of that.
So it's never been an issue to me, for, to make wearable clothes. It's just, who gonna wear that? You gotta, if I can't think about when Charles and our other design assistant, cause like I told you in the podcast yesterday, sometimes I give them okay, this is the woman for the season. This is what I want her to look like, but it's foggy to me. I can't see it clearly because it's too early, and I tell them, just sketch and show me stuff. And they bring stuff to me, and sometimes, I'll be like, who gonna wear that? I mean, it's beautiful, but, sometimes I think they get upset with me because they'll bring me 100 sketches, and I'll be like, oh, those are nice, and I'll push them to the side because it's not what I see in my head.
But none of these opportunities would exist if it weren't for one very important job, the designer. Do you feel like the role of the designer gets the respect that it deserves? Why or why not?
That's a heavy question. I think the role of designer does get the respect it deserves, but that's a layered question. Does the role of a designer of color get credit? I think that's the question that should be asked because obviously I know it when, because Because it's certain things that, I'm at home, I'm about to say things instead of things. You know I did. I went to Lizzie Stickett for breakfast. But I know like we'll have conversations like Inga and Jody who run sales for us, they'll be back and forth with a retailer and it's like they not doing what they're supposed to do because y'all these retailers, they like the mob, they do what they want to do. Like Inga told me, she was like, these people are crooks. I'm like, yeah. Like they teach you that in school, like department stores are crooks and it's the truth. They will get over on you any way they can. But, you know, another reason I love being in business with Inga is because you're not getting over on her. Okay. So I don't, you know, I don't worry about stuff like that. I mean, I'm just being honest, like, I'd be like, you call Inga with that. And when I say it, sometimes they don't even call her. They just fix what they're supposed to fix. And that's when you know, and I know I'm going off on a tangent, but I would say this, you know, I push her to be, you know, who she is, because a lot of times it's not a lot of females in her role. Yes. Like if you think about it, like when you think about the business behind the big brands, most of them is not females in that role. So she's a rarity in the fashion industry. So a lot of times when she's dealing with our fabric merchants or she's dealing with our manufacturers, there's a certain amount of disrespect that comes there to act as if she's not a business person and to be sweet and down and like a lady. And no, like you're not getting $100,000 out of us. I'm not being nice to you. And they're like, I don't like her. But it's because she's a woman. If a man was doing that, it would just be like, oh, he's the boss. You know what I mean? And I know that's a cliche.
Trying to wrap it up and keep it cute. It was a beautiful moment, so sometimes I get really theatrical with it, but you know, it was a very special moment because, you know, we have been trying one book dedicated to this particular person that was supposed to be attending, and they ended up not going at the last minute. After that, we just knew that, you know, this door was gonna lead to that thing, and that job was gonna lead to that, and it was just gonna be the moment. And you go on to the next year, you do your thing, the Met Gala comes around again, and we got the opportunity to dress a performer, Audra McDonald. And, you know, it's like, you're excited because it's the Met Gala and it's an opportunity. It's not really what you want it to be, but you're getting your foot in the door. So you're gonna take the job and you're gonna do your absolute best, and that's what we did. And we went in with it and we dressed her for the event, and it was a very, very chaotic day going through that process and, you know, getting her dressed, and then we ended up dressing a few other people, so then running to this hotel to get this other person dressed in an emergency while this person is there, so I'm running around with literally a needle and thread in my pocket, and Sergio's getting this person dressed, and all of these things are going on, and it was just madness. And this was right after everything opened up with COVID. So during all this process, while we're running around taking care of things, Sergio told me, he's like, I need Charles to go with me, because he was the only one that had clearance to go because he had been tested. But he's like, Charles has to go with me, but I have to be tested at that point. And we're in the midst of picking up gowns and getting stuck in a factory and all this stuff like this. So it's like, how am I gonna get tested? So I was like, well, we'll have to test for you on site at the Met. You know, somebody will be waiting outside. We get there, by the time we get stuck in traffic, you know, the people aren't there, and it's like, am I gonna be able to get in the building? Are we gonna be able to carry this dress in here? Because we gotta get this performer dressed now. She's about to go on stage soon. And so they were like, we got you. And we literally stuck into the back door basement of the Met Gala. So they take us down this ramp and we go through this door and we're walking down the hallway and they're carving priceless artwork by us, and you know, you're literally in the basement. And they take us upstairs and we finally get to the dressing room and everything's great. We get her dressed, it's her time to go on stage, and you know, it was one of the most beautiful moments, and she's prepared. We're holding her train, and they call her name, and we release her dress, and she steps onto the stage. And without going into all the dramatic details of how gorgeous it was raining, and she was singing beautifully, and all these things, but I had a moment of reflection in that moment, watching her perform, and it was very, very emotional because it's like, wow. I had this clear moment of these two black boys from the South, me being from Mississippi, Sergio being from South Carolina, are doing things that you can only dream of, and it's actually happening right now.
I think in 2024, I don't want to get like real businessy, you know, of course that would excite me and Inga, but you know, just growing our direct-to-consumer business more. We do a lot of wholesaling and building our customer base, and because that's really the core of what makes a legacy brand, is a customer that's dedicated to your name, not just to your product. So until I won't stop until we get to the point where I can put Sergio Hudson on a t-shirt and people will fight over it. Because that's what creates legacy, that's what creates longevity, and you know, we work hard every day. That's what's going to keep, you know, my family comfortable for eternity. And that's my goal with Sergio Hudson. That's what, you know, when I decided to sit down and, you know, like Inga said earlier, when I sat down with her, like she said, I had been approached by a few people that just wanted to give money and possibly take a percentage of the business or whatever. But I was like, you know, I need a partner. You know, it's just not.
You ready? I know I recognize it, yes. Yeah.
Alright, so that was a really nice meet and greet. We didn't get to like talk to him and take pictures and stuff, but it was such an incredible experience. And I'm about to go trying to find something to eat and head back to Charlotte. Feels nice now, but it was hot as heck in that sweater vest or sweater dress.
Whoa.
What?
Kentucky buses.
Oh no. Oh yeah. There's a Kentucky versus South Carolina game tonight here in town. So, oh yeah, there's a bunch of them. Yep. Whole line of them. Where are we going? Check out this beautiful mural. It's kind of like old meets new. At the bottom of it's like an old-timey mural, and then we got the glass high-rise up above. Oh shit, that's what I found. Like, you don't really see a lot of dress shops anymore, and I love this. Carolyn's Ladies Fashion. It's right downtown Columbia. I did see a couple of men's clothing stores up in here too, and I do love seeing the, we got a barbershop. Oh, here it is. One of the men's stores I saw. Like they're keeping their downtown alive, and I really love that. There's the other men's shop, Cavalier's Men's Shop. All right, we're heading into the Good Life Cafe. I think it's like a vegan vegetarian spot here. I've been wanting to try it. It's downtown Columbia. Gonna see what they got. That's a really cool plant wall. Oh, I guess you order on the kiosk. Like 20 years from now.
I love the choice of music too.
So these bathrooms are different. There's like a designated room with stalls, and then all of the sinks are outside. That's different. These are teriyaki cauliflower buffalo. This is a Beyond Burger with vegan mozzarella cheese and sweet potato fries.
So I think the street vendors now
cute little alley, not threatening looking like some. It's really beautiful down here. Someone's playing live music. Lots of old buildings they're preserving the tap rooms. See these all over Charlotte. It's abandoned. Holistic health. Sweet cream. What is this? All right, stopped in at sweet cream. Okay, sweet cream. I got the apple cider sorbet. Normally I don't like apple cider cold. Like, I don't even like that apple crisp macchiatos. I mean, I can deal with it, but this is actually really good. Sorry.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.